this this is pretty big. Like I'm just kind of blown away by the whole thing because I saw the email and I wasn't like I just did it on a humbug, like just fill it out. I was headed to an investment meeting about doing some other real estate projects here in the city with a different group. And on the way there, while I was waiting, I saw the email. So I started the application and then went into the meeting. I never hit submit. So after the meeting, I opened my phone and it was still the application up. So I said to my husband, like, should I really turn this in? He was like, why not? You've almost finished it. So I hit submit. And then like a couple days later, I heard from you guys, so I was completely shocked.
Well, let's just start with this. Tell us your flipping backstory. How'd you get into it? What was your aha moment? Bring us into why Cabin Wars, why you wanted to audition for that.
Okay, so my grandfather was a real estate investor. He had rental properties throughout Cleveland, mostly on his street. So I grew up painting, putting houses together, helping him. Then my parents got into it. My grandfather gifted them their first property. So I helped with my parents. When my husband and I got married, we lived in Alabama. I'm originally from Cleveland, but I got married in Alabama and lived there for several years after getting married. So we wanted to get into real estate ourselves, but I kind of wanted independence away from my family. So we kind of took a different route. We started buying tax lien properties. Our first property was like $500. It was trash. The only thing that we did to the property was change the locks and we sold it to another investor. And we made like $5,000 off of that first property. We didn't know anything about tax liens or any of that. As we kept growing, we started to get those houses off the tax sale and then flipping them. When we got to Cleveland, we wanted to keep it going because we ended up moving back because my grandfather passed away and my grandmother was getting older. We wanted our children to have that time with their grandparents. So my parents are still in Cleveland, but my grandmother at the time was still here. So we relocated from Montgomery, Alabama to Cleveland, and we wanted to do flipping projects. So the house that we moved into was a project. It was my aunt's old house next door to where my grandparents lived, and it was horrible. Like it had like it's a solid brick house, but it needed a lot of work. So that was our first flip for ourselves when we got here. So we had to renovate the whole thing. My husband, when he came a month before we did, he did a lot of the work, making sure that the property was ready for us to move into. And we worked on that for a couple years. Then we got another house two doors down, and that one was like if you could see what it looked like before compared to now, you would be blown away. So we renovated that house and then we ended up moving into that one. So we fixed up the first one. It was a duplex. We ended up renting both units and then we moved into the single. And we were like, we wanted to keep it going. So we went back to the tax sale and we bought a $9,000 house that had no roof. The roof was gone. The attic, those are pictures that I sent. The attic had a hole in the roof and the ceiling, a hole in the floor. I mean, the house was in terrible condition. And we spent about 9 months putting it back together. And we eventually sold it. Like right when it got on the market, it sold. So just to see how we were able to do that transformation on such a trash property, and bring it back to life and even add value to the community, that was very important to us. So we were super excited about that. And we just been doing it, like continuing to buy properties, fix them up, and add value to the community. And that's our whole goal.
Cicely, so how do you believe your unique skills, personality, and experience set you apart from your competitors on Cabin Wars?
I think I have like realistic budgets. Like when my husband and I did these projects, we were using our money. So all the creativity that we put into these projects had to be on like a shoestring budget. So I know how to work with little and make it great. I know how to shop. I know how to find deals and take advantage of discounts so that we can get quality products to put in our properties and make them really nice. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest things to set me apart is I know how to work with a limited budget. I'm just excited now to be able to use other people's money to put a project together. It always is a plus.
So, Cicely, have you ever faced an unexpected challenge that kind of stands out to you, and how'd you overcome that?
An unexpected challenge that we faced was on that property that had so much work that needed to be done. We had different contractors that we worked with on it. We started the project with one guy who had done a lot of work for us in the past, but I think this particular project was way more than he could handle. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, thinking that, if we hold his hand, he could do it, and he totally jerked us. We hired him. He took took materials. He quit on the project. We had to find someone else. And doing that, you have to ask around. Like, you can't just put an ad out there for a contractor. The best way to find a contractor is to ask people who've used different contractors. So we went through several different contractors to find one to help us finish the project. And we did. We found one. With that contractor, we thought everything was great until it was time for inspection to sell the house. And instead of fixing some of the rafters under the floor that was damaged, they just covered it up. So when the inspector came to do that inspection, he was like, this rafter is almost worn out. And we didn't see it in the basement. Like, it was in the basement, and it was in a spot that we didn't really pay attention to. So at the last minute, we had to get somebody else in there to change that floor out. So what they had to take all the carpet back out, take all the subfloor out, and replace those joists underneath the floor at the last minute. Like, that was such a headache because we had a buyer. Like, we're getting ready to close. We're thinking our house is great. And that small thing it really turned out to be bigger than we expected, but we had to go ahead and fix it. I'm glad we found it because I wouldn't want a family to come in there and fall through the floor because of something that, we didn't take care of. So that was one of the biggest challenges that we had to face, trying to work with a time constraint to get it done before closing and to make sure we had it done right with the in our budget. So that was one of the biggest challenges that we faced.
That's awesome. You seem to be like the kind of person that really wants to add value to your community and to your family. How does Cabin Wars intersect with that journey? If, say, we're on the final day and it's revealed that Sicily won the Cabin Wars competition, she had the best design, renovation, all that. How do you think that might impact your vision, values, and goals are for your family and your community?
That would be such a huge impact for my family and my community. My husband and I have a part of our business plan, or our strategy, is to provide affordable homes. So what we do is go into the inner city of Cleveland, areas that are really kind of left behind, and we go in and fix those properties up. So in all the money that we receive and the notoriety that we get from this opportunity can be used to fuel that program, kind of like buy back the community, where we go in and take those distressed properties and add value to them, and also put people in those properties that can become homeowners. So when you have those homeowners in there, the value of the community automatically goes up. So that's our goal. That will be such a great thing for my children because it impacts, their future, having these safe communities to live in and have businesses in. So these winnings and this notoriety, just being on this platform, will add value to not only our business, but also our family as a whole.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Cicely, you talked about challenges with contractors and such. What do you think will be the most significant challenge on Cabin Wars when renovating the cabins?
I think the biggest challenge going into Cabin Wars is knowing what businesses are there. I can do a little prep work, but having those established relationships, I won't go in having that. So that's going to be the biggest challenge, knowing what small shops I can work with, what big box stores are available to fund this project. So that's probably the biggest challenge, like knowing where to source, like the ins and out. Like in Cleveland, I know where I can go for different things. Like there are liquidators here. There's all kind of little specialty stores that I can use. There, I won't have that knowledge coming in. So that'll be a big challenge.
Cicely, how would you describe your style when it comes to home design, renovation, flipping?
One of the things I love is simplicity. Like, I like clean lines. I like simple but nice, like in modern. Like I'm not like rustic or chic or anything. Like I just like simple and nice. So all of my designs have been where when you walk in, you feel like, oh, this is like my background. This is comfortable. This is not, it's not too flashy, it's not plain, but it's just simple and clean.
So cast a vision for me. I'm somebody attending the open house. I walk into your renovated cabin. What are some of the design elements that are going to, and what are they going to be, and how are they going to make me feel?
I've actually thought about this, and I was putting together like a mod board about what I would do. But one of the things that I want is like breathtaking. When you walk in, you see like things that elements that you wouldn't normally see, like use of wood and black and gold, different features like that, where you walk in and it's just like, oh, I never thought of that. Like, wow, that's really nice. And you feel relaxed because this is a cabin, this is a getaway. You don't want to feel like you're stuck in the cabins that we went to. We took a cabin trip to West Virginia. I didn't tell my husband all the details, but it was a shared cabin and it was like a bunk style. And we had our own space, but everybody else used our bathroom. Like we had the bathroom. So all night you saw people walking in and out, in and out. That place was awful. Like it looked creepy. It was dirty. It was bugs. This is not the kind of cabin that we're trying to put together. We're trying to make this cabin a place where you go and you feel relaxed, connected to nature. So you'll have greenery and things like that, where on the inside and outside, it's just a relaxed, classic, simple feel.
Love it.
For sure. So Cicely, how do you think viewers will connect with your personality, style, or approach on the show?
I think I'm down to earth. Like I'm not very haughty or like I don't have airs about myself. Like I'm just a regular person, that anybody can connect with. Like I'm not stuck up or hasidic or whatever. I'm really like I have a way with all kind of people. So whether you're a high executive or janitor, like I can connect with people from a broad spectrum.
That's awesome.
What about you? Do you think people will connect with the most?
Honestly, I think people will recognize that my smile is genuine. When I talk to people, I make eye contact, and I think that allows them to feel connected to me. So honestly, I think it's the smile.
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
So in any reality TV show you see, there's always drama. How would you be prepared to handle that maybe competitive nature of the show, any sort of drama on reality TV?
I am a mom of five, okay? I have four girls and one boy. So my everyday is drama. My oldest is 14, my youngest is 1. So I handle drama daily. I handle challenges, emotions, difficulties, all of those things on such a regular basis. And I think we are such a comedy show, interacting, my husband and I don't think drama on TV will be much different than the drama that we face daily. Even when we put projects together, my husband and I probably disagree 90% of the time. So we have those challenges, those conversations where I have to convince him and he has to convince me. I think the drama that we bring organically will be great for TV.
Would you involve your kids in any of the scenes?
They all want to be. My daughters especially, they say, well, I can help, I can bring the hammer, I can hold it. Like they're all excited. Even my 14-year-old, she's sometimes she could be so unemotional, like nothing seems to really move her, but even she got into this. She was like, I'm so happy, like I'm so happy for you, mom. So she wants to be a part. The only one who I think may not have interest at this moment is my 1-year-old, just because she doesn't know. But all the other ones are very excited.
Awesome. All right. So final pitch in a sentence or two. Why should viewers root for you on Cabin Wars?
I think viewers should root for me on Cabin Wars because I would be the ideas and impact that I will bring to this show and what will take place after will be much longer of a lasting impact than just one segment, one show, 142-minute episode, because when the winnings will have such an impact on my business and the ability to touch other people. So I think viewers should really root for me, because rooting for me helps build the community.